media or just the podcasting platforms that you used. But I think that this is like a very big sea change in terms of like who are the voices that matter. And what we do is we try to build a platform that gives people a voice. But I think that there's this wholesale generational shift in who are the people who are being listened to. And I think that that's like a very fascinating thing that is going on, because I think that that's like what's going on here. It's not just the government and people saying, hey, we want like a very big change here. I think it's just like a wholesale shift in saying we just want different people who we actually trust,
Right.
Who are actually going to like tell us the truth and not give us like the bullshit opinions that you're supposed to say, but like the type of stuff that I would actually like when I'm sitting in my living room with my friends, like the stuff that we know is true. Like who are the
Right.
people who kind of have the courage to actually just say that stuff? I don't know. I think that whole like cultural elite class needs to get repopulated with people who people actually trust.
Yeah. The problem is these people that are starting these jobs, they're coming out of universities, and in the universities they're indoctrinated into these ideas as well. It's very difficult to be a person who stands outside of that and takes unpopular positions. You get socially ostracized, and people are they're very hesitant to do that, and they would rather just keep their mouth shut and talk about it in quiet conversation. And
Yeah, that's what we've been seeing a lot of lately. Like when you talk about something that people just have been taught to not be the same thing. Like if you are taught parenting and your style of parenting is to hit your kids or make them fear you, as 100 years ago, that was not unheard of. They could sell their kids. Completely different style of parenting. If you are all of a sudden the first person to start saying that, no, you should actually just teach them to trust themselves or show them practical skills that will enable them to be free in life and tell them the truth about these different things that has been the truth up until this point. There are so many things that we were taught that is not true. For instance, the banking system. Fucking hell. Everyone is now starting to pick up that the bank is not there for you. They are making money of you. You're a customer of the bank. So to have your money sitting in a bank account is not as efficient as it would be to have it in a smart cryptocurrency, for instance. And that there are systems beneath the systems now. You have the systems as they have been so far, governments and mainstream media and educational systems and healthcare systems and all the things that is following you from your birth. Those have always been there, society at large, right? But now, people have taken it onto themselves to create subsystems, underground systems, underground banking systems, ways to be anonymous, like the blockchain. And then you have other companies like OpenAI and different AI technologies that has taken it onto them because they are now so big that they have to do something on a global scale. They are now tapping into that whole anonymous part of it all. And the bridge between them is that the mainstream system, the governments at large, or the current dominating systems have tapped into those subsystems. So now, let's say Microsoft has a big part of OpenAI being the one that launches, let's say, WorldCoin, that wants you to verify as a human through the orb. These are not, like, if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's very easy to figure that out because they're talking about it. It's just that I don't think most people are concerned with checking out the press conferences of huge companies today. Most people are at home, they are relaxing, they have been at work, they are trying to reset for the next day, so they're just chilling. They don't have the time to go into these other big things that are happening completely invisibly. Like they are happening without people seeing that they're happening, and that's what scares the fuck out of me. So now seeing this, the reason I'm showing this little clip from Joe Rogan when he's talking to Mark Zuckerberg, the creator and owner, CEO of Meta, Facebook, WhatsApp, and Threads and Instagram and a whole bunch of different huge platforms that everyone uses. It's about the censorship. It is about the way that some things that we talk about do not come out to the masses. They don't reach out because the government has tapped into that system and they are telling everyone what's being okay to listen to. As Joe Rogan also said, that you're going through the educational system, you are being conditioned to have certain beliefs and values by the time you come out of that program. And then you're kind of acting from what you know, not what you don't know. And many people, they don't know that what they do might not be for the common good. They have been good. They have followed the system. They have followed the rules. They have done the things. And so now they have been rewarded for that. They have a paper that says that they have done this thing, and now they are an expert in that. And then, you know, they take on jobs. Those jobs follow that mindset, that framework, those principles, those values. And so you have the perpetual grind, kind of. But now, seems like people are waking up to that. It's like with the jab, you know, people took that in good faith, thought that this is what they should do in order to stay safe and be good and be a supporting, constructive member of society because you were doing what you were told to keep everyone safe, as they said. And then it turns out that no, that is actually not quite what happened. And today people are suffering the side effects, like the consequences of that. And people who were, you know, from that part of the system before, maybe they had everything good. They were in good standing. They were a good model citizen. They were successful. They did all the things. And now they suffered the consequences. And they are now the truth speakers about the thing that happened to them. And they are being silenced because the whole thing we're talking about. You know, that is probably one of the biggest things that has happened, I think, when people at large, globally, started to wake up to the fact that maybe they were lied to. Because it was physically affecting them and they were losing people. So, you know, how can you avoid it? It's in your face. It's in your life. It's currently taking control and destroying it. So you kind of put into this situation where you have to respond. You have to take this situation and deal with it. When that happens, new insights come, right? That's how in my life, in my journey, that's how everything that really gave me value came to be, because I went into a situation, I had to respond to the situation, and then on the other side of that, I had new insights as to what that situation was compared to what I was told it was going to be. You know, people can come to me and say that, no, you can't do that online. That's impossible. And they have a job, and they've never even tried or researched or done any of what they are giving advice of. And I'm sitting there, but it doesn't make sense. Like, I'm doing it. I know it's real. I have the experience of having done it, but you're telling me that it's not possible based on your limiting beliefs. That doesn't make sense. You know? That's just one. It's like, fuck. Terrence, I'm not gonna, I've forgotten what his last name is, but there was a guy that talked about the linchpin, a new way of seeing the universe, and he was debating math, that 1 times 2 was 2, or 1, or something. I can't even remember. There was so much going on, where he was debating this fundamental mathematical fact that everyone was like, you know, it's 2 plus 2 was 2? Was it that? I have no idea. Check it out. It's really interesting because he goes into things that many people don't. He connects different things and aspects that many people didn't. And because of that, you know, he was pushed against. So it's just an example. We can go into online business. We can go into freaking the COVID. We can go into how the universe is constructed. We can go into shamanism. We can go into any given topic in the world, and there will be different perspectives, right? Some people have been taught what those are. Some people have read those in a book, and some people have done it and are teaching from experience. I would rather hear the perspectives of those people who have lived the experience so that I know, all right, you didn't say this thing directly, but I heard from your story of doing the thing that I should avoid that when I'm attempting the same. You're shortening the time frame for other people to go through the same thing. You're helping them getting insights that they normally would have only gotten through challenge or some longer thing that was unnecessary, because if they had the insight before, done. It's like if you teach people how to be sovereign and autonomous in school, you wouldn't have PhD grad students in McDonald's because they couldn't get a job anywhere else. You know, you would have people coming out and they would create based on what they had found in themselves, based on what they wanted to create, based on what they were inspired and called to create. For me, I'm getting so sick of seeing all this happening, and nothing really is taking place in a better direction. Well, it felt like it. That's why I'm making this video, because currently it seems like, as Mark Zuckerberg also said, there is a wholesale shift going on, that everyone is now waking up to something, and we should start paying attention, because if we don't, damn, what are the consequences? Not just for us even, but for the kids that we put into this world, and their kids, and their kids, and their kids. I saw this movie a few days ago called Number 24, and it's about a member of a resistance group during World War II. Norway has always created a whole bunch of videos and stuff from World War II, and I have several times been thinking, how much can we share about this one thing that happened 80 years ago without going too far? Like, when are we supposed to forget this story? Not even forget the story, because here's the thing. It's a really good thing to be aware of and remember that there was a shit time in our country. But at the same time, the people who actually did that, who were in the war, who carried out the acts, who faced the impossible, those are rotting away in an old people's home, where they're freezing to death or they're not getting the dignity that they deserve. That's wrong. You know, it's like we're watching the movie of your life, but currently he's not even aware that it's existing because he's on some room somewhere alone. You know? It's the whole profit-driven shit. And it's starting to bug me. And also the pride, the military pride. This is not to bug on anyone. This is not to kind of attack. But yesterday I was looking at Matt Rife. He's a comedian and he is very direct. He will talk about anything, and many people will have offense of that. But he was talking to this woman who was a army veteran, Desert Storm, and she was talking from a, like, don't mess with the military. And was like, what the fuck? You were a nurse during Desert Storm. I don't know enough about this battle, which is kind of the point as well, because they assign cool names to it that makes you say it like a superhero, almost. I was an army veteran during Desert Storm. You know, it's... damn. Sounds like something you would see in Marvel. And I feel like much of the things that we see in terms of supporting the veterans and honoring their sacrifice is in that light. You know, when you have been in the army in the US, you come back and you're a hero because you served. And of course, fucking honoring your service, but there's always those different perspectives again. Like when some certain woman stood on a stage saying that we don't have any active troops abroad. And then the active troops sitting on the other side of that, looking at the screen of this being shared, is like, but what the fuck what about us? You know? It's like, There is this image, this visual that is being painted, and people identify with certain aspects of that to kind of, you know, find themselves in it, I guess. Some people will, their entire life is basically surrounded or focused on this one thing that happened in their life X amount of decades ago, you know? We should probably just start focusing on what we can create if we didn't have that constant focus on those different other values, those ego boosting values, or the coolness of war. You know, because just the amount of money that is being put into the military industrial complex, it's insane. It's insane. It's completely ridiculous. But we've always done that. Now it seems like this whole wholesale shift, as Mark Zuckerberg says, is also changing those perspectives and those opinions in those areas. So who the fuck knows where that's going to lead to now that we have AI and drones. Yeah, the war in itself has changed. People are now suffering PTSD symptoms from drones hovering them with guns attached. How crazy is that? Yeah, there's a lot of things happening. And I think that right now we are in an age where people should just speak their truth. They should not sit in their living rooms talking about the things that they know is true, but they don't want to say because they're going to get ostracized. Just the fact that if this is the case, if you're sitting in a living room with other people, your friends, and you're talking about these things, then that in itself is kind of proof that, well, you're not alone. There are more people talking about this. And the more people that get to know about this, the more enlightened they get, the more aware they get of everything happening, the better chance we have to actually shift the thing that we're talking about. Because it is a problem, you know? And we can't really shift that. We can't really change that whole situation if we don't do anything about it. And in this case, it's just talking about it and then acting on it and then actually doing the thing. Yeah. You should talk more about it. I know it's going to require sacrifice to another degree, because the people who are conditioned, the people who are kind of seeing the world as they were taught, who has not had that experience of, you know, be that through a message, be that through like a thing that was said or heard or observed or, you know, experienced, which would be the best outcome, just experiencing that shit. Things are not 100% as they were told. But people have to do hard things. They have to face that fear. I say that because I run a group, a huge group, 13,000 people. Me and a small team of moderators go through a bunch of members, and we approve and we reject different posts to make sure that the community is safe, right? Or that we don't overrun it with things that could corrupt the whole essence of the group. We also see the amount of people who are posting anonymous, and it is staggering. And when I go out to my local community, I sometimes meet these people, and they will say things to me that shows me that, oh, fuck, you should turn off the mask or the anonymous filter and just say that to the people around you, because fuck, that would actually help. If this person of this given stature in society were to say, well, I actually use psychedelics for focus and creativity, and I got better, and my mental health has improved, and I'm now fucking on a new kind of energy and flow in life. It helped me tremendously. Well, if people of certain power were to say that publicly, we could have different outcomes in society. Because I would say that it is quite illogical to say that you're breaking a law by saying that you got better from stumbling across something that is in nature. You know, as we are seeing also, there are so many things currently popping up everywhere that it is too much to talk about. And that is why we have the community. That is why we have these different other places to talk about things, because it's easier. I would much rather sit around a campfire talking about these things and saying, like, sharing things that we can do to get out of the situations, or to improve any given situation, or to play more in any given situation, create and share resources, and just like, imagine coming to a campfire and there's a whole play that has been taking place, like smoke effects and pyro effects beyond the campfire, and like a cool fucking experience that is going to show you that, that's going to be cool. I am in. I will do that. I would rather do something like that than sitting in a fucking Facebook group talking about things that we are doing every day, because that kind of limits everything. We have the possibility now. Everyone has the opportunity to live a life that is more autonomous, more free, and more in touch with who you are and nature, if that is a desire, while also being able to be boosted digitally and metaphysically. There are all these different things that we can do today, but most people don't because we don't know what we don't know. But I hope that with all this that is happening, something is going to change very soon. If you want to get into the community, there's probably going to be a link underneath this video in the description. Click that and watch. I look forward to seeing you in the introductory channel so that I can say hey, and then we can create something together. As I'm currently recording this, by the way, there is a huge problem with the websites. So do not take those as a trusted source of finding anything. Okay, they're just, right now, they're a miracle. They're a mystical miracle that I can't really figure out. So just go into the Discord. That is probably going to be there for a while. And I hope to see you with a campfire. May you have an epic day, a fantastic everything. Take care of freaking family, and I'll see you in the next one.